Hello there, Optimus Prime here, and in today's retro review I'm going to take a look at a toy from the year 2004. Now 2004 was obviously the 20th anniversary of the Transformers, but it was also deep into Energon, and today I'm going to have a look at possibly the biggest, well actually definitely the biggest Transformer of them all in that era, and that is Energon Omega Supreme. Let's get to it. Okay, so starting with vehicle mode. This is an interesting one because he has two vehicle modes, a little bit like G1 Omega Supreme. In the original G1 Omega Supreme had a train mode and then also a space shuttle mode with a nice little track. It was all very exciting. Now this version of Omega Supreme is very, very different from that. He has a few of the cues from the original one, like the red claw, which we'll get back to in his robot mode. But this is one half of his vehicle mode. It's sort of a construction vehicle kind of thing. It's got a fairly good roll to it. It's got these little fixie arms, they look like, little grabbers on them, quite poseable, can do sorts of fixie things, I'd imagine. And then it has this claw, which moves around like that. It has a little opening mini-con container here. We can just flip him all the way around. You can see this little switch here, which makes that go out to do grabbing of a grabbing sort. It's reasonably poseable. The claw is, well, it opens and closes, that's about it. And because it's his arm joint, you've got a fair bit of movement there, and you can move all the way around that way, and you can also have a bit of movement that way if you so wished. Let's pop that back there. Right, let's just move that back out the way. Grab the spaceship, battleship, naval vessel mode. I mean, it's a boat, but you definitely get some SDF-1 Robotech or Macross vibes from this. It's very much a battleship of some description. It has wheels, but that's for playability. But you could easily have this as either some form of oh, I've just realised it's transformed wrong. How silly of me. You can either have this as a battleship, sort of sea battleship, or as some kind of spaceship. It definitely has a port at the back here, which looks like a big engine. Now, in my haste to get this all sorted out, I appear to have forgotten to transform it properly, so this bit should be flipped around to there. I'm going to pause and sort that out. Seamlessly edited together, I'm sure. Yeah, so that actually should be there to form the Omega Battleship, which is what this is called. The other version is the Omega Train, which is a Cybertronian construction train, not to get the two things confused. So there we go. So that looks a bit better. The other part where it was over that side is for robot mode, and I had neglected to move it over. Anyway, so he has spinning missile laser turrets here. He's got a spinning cannon here, which is linked to the other ones there, so they all move in unison. And you even have a little wheel here that allows you to move them. And the missiles fire reasonably well. Patang! Patang! Oh, how exciting. Let's just put those back in. They go in either way, so that's easy. That one goes there, and that one goes there. And finally, he has a little button here which lights up his front cannon part there. There we go, and some good old-fashioned laser zappy noises. And that is the Omega Battleship. Now, it's very difficult to show on this video because I do not have a wide-angle lens. But these two vehicles actually combine together to form the Omega Armored Super Train by plugging the front of the train into the back of the battleship, like so. And then you have this ridiculously huge vehicle that is, I mean, it's got to be 2 foot long. It's ridiculous and completely. I mean, what are you going to do with that? It's bonkers, but also pretty awesome. Okay, so these 2 parts come apart again, and this is of course part of Energon, so everything combines, so it's all very, very combinery. And then you have his minicon, this little robot dude. He is called Omega because apparently they ran out of names, and pretty much all of his different parts are called Omega in some way or other. So that is him, and he can sit on various parts of the vehicle. Interestingly, for a minicon, he doesn't actually have a minicon port. He has a screw hole there that could be used as a minicon port, I suppose, but it's not like a true minicon port. He doesn't interact in the same way that other minicons do, but he does form the head of Omega Supreme. Now let's get to that part. So let's start with, let's move this out of the way. I'll start with the Omega battleship and do the thing that I paused the video for a second ago. So this bit pops out of there, and that then spins around like that with the gun staying where it is, which is quite fun. And that then goes like that, and this can all fold in on itself to look a little less battleshipy and a little bit more what it is, which is a foot. There we go. Like so, I think. That's that. And then it's very difficult to show him in his full glory, as he is so very big. So once you've got the battleship part into the right place, you can pull the leg out. So if you push it up to there, then there's a hinged piece in there that you can pull down. Oops. Which gives you more legitude. So this bit's a bit longer, extends out with that hinged part there. And then this part has the same sort of action, but this is his arm. So this is going to be the center of his body here. So we pull this out and press some buttons at the same time to be more exciting. So that then right angle-ish comes out to there. Put it all the way. Or is that as far as it goes? I'll have a look in a sec. And then you can see the hinged part here. So, oh, I keep pressing the button. And then that comes down there like that. And the missiles fall off. And then we have more or less an arm. If we turn that, then you can see that this has become a leggy. I don't think that's quite right. Check that in a minute. So that's become a leggy, and his arms there with the missile launcher on his shoulder. And one of the missiles flew off, but I'll find that in a second. And then that is half of his body. It's not particularly stable on its own, so I'm just going to lean that over here out the way and work on the second part, which is this part. This part is a little bit more straightforward because we don't have anything here to transform, so we just turn that round, pull that up to make a foot, push those bits down, and then that is pretty much it. That's his front, so get that the right way around, and there we go. That was simple, not a lot of difficulty there. So as you can see, the arm is, it's basically you turn it the other way around and it's pretty much that done. It's not very complicated. Now this piece here, this is the head socket. we pull that up now, that makes it a little bit easier to deal with in a second. So you want to just, so it goes up straight like that, so little missile pods there. And if you just pop it down a little bit to there, so it's sort of flush there, that's going to make it a bit easier when we combine the two. Now, it's very simple. You get the two halves, and you can see these mushroom pegs. Mushroom peg, mushroom peg, mushroom peg, hole, 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 hole. And then we just pop the two halves together. Legs need to be at a bit of an angle. Make sure the top piece, you've got that flush because it fits into a slot just there. Peg, 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 peg. Peg, peg, peg. And the ones at the back, make sure they're all pegged in. And, as if by magic, we suddenly have a robot mode. Ooh. Leaning to one side. Now the legs aren't amazingly great because they don't, there we go. So you've got to have them at a slight angle, otherwise he doesn't tend to stand up, which is a bit annoying. But there we go, in all of his robot-y glory. Let's just pan up a bit, and then his headmaster come Minicon. Just pop his legs around like that, like a normal headmaster. His arms become antennae, and then his mask flips up, and there he has his head, which hopefully you can see okay. And then this just plugs into the head port at the top there, and that is his robot mode. Let's put that missile back in. Just slightly better angle. Edit this bit out. It's very difficult to get a good angle on this dude. There we go. Pop his missile back in. And let's raise that a bit. There we go. Magic. And that is basically him in robot mode. He is an imposing figure. He is very large. Some very good ratchets on the arms. His legs have got a movement there, and she's also got movements at the knees. And this leg, well, they can both come out a bit, but this one slightly further. So that's sort of leg movements, and arms are about the same. They can just do your sort of normal elbow and shoulder joints, and you can patang laser noises from his hand. He's got one of those Energon crystal ports there if you wanted to pop an Energon crystal on him, and that is basically him. He is big, he is imposing, but he's not a particularly inspiring toy. He's got some good play features, but once you've got him into robot mode, he's sort of a brick. I'm convincing myself that I've done something wrong with his legs because I just cannot get him to stand up properly. So I've probably messed something up around there. I'll have a look at some pictures in a second and make sure that's all correct. It's a long time since I transformed him. He's basically been in my cabinet, combined with Energon Prime to make, what was it, Optimus Supreme. So just a quick size comparison. Here is Energon Optimus Prime. He is almost twice the height of this figure. And as I say, these two can combine, but I think I'm going to save that for a separate video because why not? And also this video is getting a little bit long. So overall, I don't love him. He's fun, and he looks decent enough in both modes. The vehicle modes feel a bit afterthoughty, I've got to be honest. A train obviously goes with the old Omega Supreme kind of idea, and the battleship, I don't know, is kind of cool, but the combined train is just, it's just so long. But when you the actual alt mode is literally he comes in half and then lies down on his side. That's it. There's no real complexity to it whatsoever. It's very, very simple, very afterthoughty, and it's just not. I don't like it. I haven't liked. I didn't like this toy when it first came out. I got it because it combined with Prime, and because it was big, and I think it was a Christmas present from my wonderful wife. Yeah, I don't have a lot of love for this, I would be completely honest. I have it in combined mode in the cabinet because it's then a Prime, but that is pretty much all I do with it. Yeah, it's nice to have lots of different gimmicks. It's nice to have sort of a headmastery kind of gimmick, and the combined mode is kind of fun, but we'll talk about that another time. But anyway, this is pretty much him. He's big, he's stupid, he's doofy, he's kind of a brick. There's very little posability you can do because he can't really stand up otherwise. I'm sure I've done something wrong with his legs. I'm going to have to look at it because he should not be leaning like that. That is for sure. Okay, well, anyway, this has been my retro review of Transformers Energon. Stand up, you doofus. There we go. That's straight-ish. This has been my retro review of Transformers Energon Omega Supreme. It's been a bit chaotic, but hey, that's how we roll here. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Very quick addendum. I had got his legs right. He just doesn't stand up very well, like a doof. So you can probably get him to stand a bit better if you spread his legs a bit. Misses. Yeah. So the poses aren't too bad, I suppose. He's still a big brick. Still don't like him a lot. But yeah, that is how his legs go. Anyway, bye.